ونصلي على رسوله الكريم أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي آمين. Surah Al-Baqarah, verse number 8. In previous 7 verses, we came to know about two groups. The first group was of muttaqeen, the people who are conscious of Allah. And those people were having five certain qualities. The first one was that they believe in unseen. Second, they establish prayer. Third, they spend out of whatever is given to them from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Fifth one is that they believe in Quran and the books before Quran. And the fifth one that they believe in hereafter. They have faith in hereafter. And the second group was of disbelievers, and the second group was of the people who do not believe in Allah and His words, His books, His messengers. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told us about them that the people are just like deaf and dumb, and no one can make them understand anything that is right. Now we are going to read about the third group, and that is of hypocrites. About muttaqeen, and there are 4 to 5 verses. About non-believers, there are 2 verses. But we are going to read a lot of verses about hypocrites. It denotes that, it tells us that hypocrisy is worse than not believing. So verse number 8, وَمِنَ النَّاسِ, and of the people, مَنْ يَقُولُ, there are some who say, آمَنَّا, we believe, billahi, in Allah, وَبِالْيَوْمِ الْآخِرِ, and the last day, وَمَا هُمْ بِمُؤْمِنِينَ, but they are not believers. So what is the quality of them? The first quality of hypocrites is that they do not believe what they say. Whatever they say from their tongue, not from their hearts. So they believe from their tongue, not from their hearts. يُخَادِعُونَ اللَّهَ, they think to deceive Allah. They think that by saying that we believe but not to believe by heart, we can deceive Allah. وَالَّذِينَ آمَنُوا, and those who believe, وَمَا يَخْتَعُونَ, but they deceive not إِلَّا أَنفُسَهُمْ, except themselves. They are just deceiving themselves. They are just thinking that we can deceive Allah, but they cannot. وَمَا يَشْعُرُونَ, and they perceive it not. Now, what is the reason of their hypocrisy? فِي قُلُوبِهِمْ مَرَضٌ, in their hearts is disease. Disease of not believing. Disease of doubts. فَزَادَهُمُ اللَّهُ مَرَضًا, so Allah has increased their disease. وَلَهُمْ عَذَابٌ أَلِيمٌ, and for them is a painful punishment بِمَا كَانُوا يَكْذِبُونَ, because they habitually used to lie. So the first quality of hypocrite is that he says what he does not believe. There is something else in his heart and he is saying something else. And the second quality, that is, he is a liar. وَإِذَا قِيلَ لَهُمْ, and when it is said to them, لَا تُفْسِدُوا فِي الْأَرْضِ, do not cause corruption in earth. قَالُوا, they say, إِنَّمَا نَحْنُ مُسْلِحُونَ, but we are reformers. We are but reformers. So that's another quality, that's another characteristic of a hypocrite, that he wants to commit acts of disobedience on the earth. He commits acts of disobedience on the earth, and their mischief is, their corruption is disobeying Allah, violating His commandments. But when it is said to them that do not do this, he says that I am reformer. For example, the people who were living in Medina, and they were hypocrites, and they were not ready to go for jihad. And when it was said to them that why you are not fulfilling the commandment of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So their claim was that we are reformers, we do not want fight, we do not want bloodshed. So that is just an example. Allah innahum, unquestionably it is they, humul mufsidun, who are the corrupters, walakin la yashurun, but they perceive it not. So here we come to know that what is corruption? Corruption is not to obey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Corruption is to violate the commandments of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in any way. وَإِذَا قِيلَ لَهُمْ آمِنُوا, and when it is said to them, believe, كَمَا آمَنَ النَّاسُ, as the people have believed, as the companions of Rasulullah have believed, قَالُوا, they say, أَنُؤْمِنُ, should we believe, كَمَا آمَنَ السُّفَهَاءُ, as the foolish have believed. So they consider that if a person who is true Muslim, who is ready to give his wealth, who is ready to give his life for the purpose of Islam and for the sake of Allah and for the sake of Prophet, then it means that he is foolish. So for them, the companions of prophets were foolish. And if we see in our modern life, still if we see a person who is involved in worship of Allah and who is involved in fulfilling the commandments of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and what other people think, what other people conceive, they just conceive that, they just think that he is foolish, he is giving full of his time to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he is giving full of his time to religion, he is not thinking about his family and his other matters. No doubt balance is very important, but if a person is very religious, people mock him. So that is the attitude of hypocrite, that he mocks the people who are religious. Allah innahum humus sufahau, unquestionably it is they who are the foolish, walakin la ya'lamun, but they know it not. So these were some verses about the hypocrites, and the remaining verses about the hypocrites we will read in next lesson, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.